Ever had a perfect morning ruined by one careless word, a stranger's glare, a rude text, a delay you didn't expect? And just like that, your peace is gone, hijacked by someone else's chaos. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if no one, no matter what they said or did, could touch your mood, your calm, or your energy? This isn't fantasy. It's emotional freedom. And it begins with learning how to stop giving people the remote control to your mind. In this video, you're not just going to hear advice. You're going to learn 10 battle-tested principles drawn from Stoicism, modern psychology, and lived human truth that will help you stay calm in conflict. Let go of grudges without guilt, respond without reacting, and build a mind that can't be shaken by anyone or anything. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about caring more, about your peace, your power, and your clarity. So if you're tired of feeling like a puppet pulled by other people's behavior, if you're ready to stop being reactive and start being unshakable, then stay with me. Because the strength you're looking for, it's already inside you. You just haven't trained it yet. Let's begin. They interrupted you mid-sentence. They posted something passive-aggressive. They showed zero respect in a moment you needed support. You felt the sting, the rising tension, the heat behind your eyes. And in that moment, it felt justified. But here's the truth. Nobody teaches us. Their behavior didn't create your anger. Your reaction did. Most people hand out their emotional control like free samples. A stranger cuts them off, and they give away an hour of peace. A comment online, and they carry that sting all week. But what if you didn't? What if no one, no matter how toxic or thoughtless, could hijack your mood? This is the first lesson of emotional mastery. You are not your reaction. You are the one who decides it. Let's look at two realities. Reality 1. You react instantly. Anger flares. You stew, snap, or retreat. They still win. Not because they hurt you, but because they steered you. Reality 2. You pause. One breath. You feel the same sting, but you don't follow it. You remain grounded, composed, powerful. That single pause, that's the space where peace lives. Here's your micro toolkit. 1. Name the feeling. Say it to yourself. This is irritation. This is embarrassment. The moment you name it, you're no longer swimming in it. You're standing beside it. 2. Zoom out. Ask, is this about me? Or is this their stress, their pattern, their projection? Most of what people do has nothing to do with you. Don't pick up what they're throwing. 3. Respond with clarity. Choose action based on who you want to be, not how you feel in the moment. You are not here to be emotionally available to chaos. You are here to build a mind that stands when the wind blows. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor who ruled amidst chaos, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And in that strength, there's freedom. Not the freedom to escape hard moments, but the freedom to face them without losing yourself. So the next time you feel the heat rising, pause, breathe, decide. Because reacting is easy, but staying in control, that's mastery. And every time you choose it, you get stronger. Not by dominating others, but by no longer being dominated. Your reaction isn't just a reflex. It's a revolution. I would never do that to them. If it were me, I'd show up. How could they not see what I needed? Sound familiar? That quiet ache, the disappointment when people don't show up the way you would. It feels personal, like a betrayal. But it's not about you. It's about your expectations. And that's what keeps hurting you. Not what they did, but what you thought they should do. Here's the hard truth. People don't live by your rulebook. They don't see through your lens. They aren't built like you. And they were never supposed to be. Expecting others to think, feel, or respond like you is the fastest way to burn out your heart. Imagine this. You're always the one checking in, supporting, remembering birthdays. But when you need help, it's silence. You tell yourself, I would never treat them this way. And that's probably true. But it's also irrelevant. Your kindness isn't wrong, but neither is their absence proof of betrayal. They're just being them. You were expecting you. Expectation is the root of all heartache. William Shakespeare. When you place your peace in the hands of someone else's behavior, you're not being generous. You're being dependent. So what do you do instead? 1. Recognize the story you're telling. Ask yourself, what was I expecting from them that they never agreed to? You may be angry at a script they were never even cast in. 2nd, stop assigning emotional debt. Just because you give freely doesn't mean others owe you back in the same currency. Freeing yourself means giving without a silent contract. 3. Accept people where they are, not where you wish they'd be. This doesn't mean tolerating harm. It means understanding that your peace depends on your boundaries, not their behavior. Here's a metaphor. Imagine expecting a cat to bark. You keep waiting, and when it doesn't, you feel let down. Not because the cat failed, but because you assigned it a role it never agreed to play. Want freedom? Lower the expectation. Raise the boundary. Stop managing other people's character and start managing your access. Let people be who they are. Let go of who you need them to be and return to the only thing you can truly control, you. So the next time someone lets you down, pause and ask, did they really hurt me? Or did I hurt myself by expecting them to be me? That one question can save you years of bitterness. Peace begins the moment you stop rewriting people and start rewriting the story you tell yourself about them. You feel the heat rising. Your point is solid. You know you're right, and they just don't get it. So you lean in, you defend, you explain harder. And somewhere in that emotional tug of war, you lose something far more valuable than the debate. You lose your peace. The desire to win arguments feels righteous, but often it's just fear in disguise. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of being dismissed, fear that if someone doesn't agree with you, your truth doesn't count. But here's the mind-shifting truth. Being right is optional. Being calm is essential. Let's be honest. How many times has proving your point ever made you truly feel better? That satisfaction of, I told you so? It's brief. But the tension it leaves behind, in your body, your relationships, your energy, that stays. Imagine this instead. Someone challenges your opinion. They misinterpret what you meant. You feel that urge to jump in and set the record straight. But instead, you pause. You smile gently. And you say something like, maybe we see it differently. And that's okay. No ego, no performance, no storm, just space. That's not backing down. That's stepping up into your higher self. Here's how to shift the habit. 1. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most arguments aren't about facts. They're about feelings. And most of the time, you're not debating truth. You're debating wounds. 2. Choose curiosity over combat. Instead of defending, ask, what makes you feel that way? This disarms ego, yours and theirs. 3. Pick your battles like you pick your friends. Wisely. Every argument costs energy. Only invest where it truly matters. Values, safety, love, not ego wins. Here's the Stoic pivot. Would you rather be right or be free? It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay to walk away from a debate unresolved. Your truth doesn't get smaller just because someone else can't see it. In fact, sometimes the most powerful statement is silence. Here's a tool. Before replying to any argument, ask yourself 3 things. Is it kind? Is it necessary? Will it change anything? If the answer isn't a full yes, stay quiet. Let the silence speak wisdom. You don't need to win the argument. You just need to win your peace back. Every time you choose stillness over shouting, curiosity over control, freedom over ego, you grow, you soften, and paradoxically, you win. You shared something vulnerable, a dream, an idea, a part of yourself, and they replied with sarcasm, a shrug, or worse, silence. Suddenly, your confidence collapses like a house of cards. But here's the truth. Their words didn't destroy you. Your belief in their words did. We've all done it. Let one comment echo louder than 1,000 quiet truths. One insult outweighs a dozen compliments. One moment of judgment make us question our entire identity. Why? Because we've been trained to outsource our value to likes, praise, validation, applause. But true emotional freedom begins when you bring that power home. Care about what others think, and you will always be their prisoner. Lao Tzu. Let's reframe this. Someone critiques your work, not constructively, just cold and dismissive. Your instinct? Retaliate, shrink, doubt yourself. But what if instead you paused and said, that's their opinion, and it says more about their lens than my value? Because your worth isn't up for debate. It doesn't rise with praise or fall with criticism. It's fixed, untouchable, yours. Here's your new mindset strategy. 1. Separate tone from truth. Even harsh words can carry a useful insight, but not all do. Ask, is there anything here that helps me grow? If yes, take it. If not, leave it behind. 2. Anchor in your own voice. Every day, remind yourself of 3 things you value about who you are. Not what you do, but who you are. Let your self-esteem be built from the inside out. 3. Filter the feedback. Not every voice deserves your emotional energy. Ask, would I go to this person for advice? If not, why take their opinion seriously? Here's a visual. Think of yourself as a radio tower. You broadcast peace, strength, clarity. Someone else sends static your way. But you don't have to tune in. You don't have to receive everything sent to you. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Next time someone says something hurtful, stop and ask, does this define me or reveal them? When you hold on to your own voice, no one can overwrite your truth. You are not what they said. You are what you choose to believe. And when you stop letting their words define your worth, you make space for something far greater. Confidence without conditions, peace without permission, and a life that no one else gets to narrate but you. You get a text at 11 p.m. Hey, can you help me real quick? You sigh. You were just about to rest. You say yes. Again. Not because you have time, but because you don't want to disappoint. And just like that, another piece of your peace is gone. Most people think boundaries are about keeping others out. But the truth is, boundaries are about keeping yourself in alignment, in balance, in power. They're not selfish, they're self-respect in action. Because every time you say yes to someone else's urgency, you might be saying no to your own well-being. Picture this. You're the go-to friend, the helper, the reliable one, but you're exhausted, drained, resentful. Not because others are bad, but because you never told them where your limits are. You taught them that you're always available, and now you feel like a bad person for wanting space. But here's the truth. People don't cross your boundaries. You let them stay undefined. Let's make it real simple. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-abandonment. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the more you disconnect, not just from others, but from yourself. Your new strategy for energetic freedom. 1. Define your limits. What drains you? What replenishes you? Write it down. Clarity is power. 2. Communicate early and clearly. Don't wait until you explode. Say, I'd love to help, but I don't have the capacity right now. Evenings are when I recharge. Let's talk tomorrow. Polite, clear, firm. 3. Enforce without guilt. Every time you hold a boundary, you teach the world how to treat you, and remind yourself that your needs matter. You can't pour from an empty cup, but no one talks about the courage it takes to stop pouring before you're dry. Here's a real-world shift. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I don't. I don't take calls after 9. I don't accept last-minute tasks on weekends. Why? Because I don't is identity-based. It reinforces who you are, not what others want from you. And when people get upset with your boundaries, that's okay. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Your peace is. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Freedom is the ability to live as we wish. But living free means choosing where your time, your energy, and your emotional space go. And boundaries? That's the map. So the next time you feel drained, overwhelmed, or taken for granted, ask yourself, have I communicated my limits? Or am I quietly hoping others will read my mind?" Protecting your energy is the first step toward reclaiming your life. Because the more you honor your own needs, the more you show up fully for yourself and for others. You post something you're proud of, silence, or worse, judgment. Suddenly, your joy fades, not because you did anything wrong, but because someone else didn't clap. Why does their opinion weigh so much? Here's why. Because part of you still believes your worth needs a witness, but it doesn't. When you rely on approval, you become emotionally outsourced, up when they praise you, down when they don't, tossed around like a boat in someone else's weather. True peace only begins when you cut that anchor. Your worth isn't up for vote. It doesn't need validation, only recognition. By you. Think of this. You wear something bold, something that feels like you, and someone says, "That's different." Now you have two choices. 1. Shrink, retreat, re-edit yourself to fit their comfort. 2. Smile, keep walking, stay rooted in your own clarity. That moment, that pause, is where self-trust is built. Here's the thing they never told us growing up. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone is supposed to. And trying to please everyone guarantees one thing: you'll lose you. Your strategy for approval. Detox. 1. Audit your triggers. When someone's opinion hits you hard, ask, what part of me feels exposed? That's your invitation to heal, not to conform. 2. Choose your inner circle. Take feedback from people who've earned the right to speak into your life. Not everyone gets a vote, even if they're loud. 3. Create before you're ready. Share before you're validated. Build a relationship with your voice that doesn't beg to be echoed. Lao Tzu said, "Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner." Modern translation: approval is emotional handcuffs. The key: self-trust. Imagine living your life like this: posting without overthinking, speaking your truth without apologizing, showing up exactly as you are, and letting people feel however they feel. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. And when someone disapproves, let them. Their opinion doesn't pay your bills, live your life, or sleep in your mind, unless you give it that power. So take it back. Let their opinions float by like clouds. Observe, don't absorb. Your peace depends on it. Because when you stop chasing validation, you start standing in your truth. And that truth, it's unshakable. They said something sharp. Maybe they meant it. Maybe they didn't. But now your heart's pounding. Your throat tightens. Your mind's racing with comebacks. And then you react. You say something clever, maybe even cruel. You win the moment, but lose your peace. Now imagine this instead. They jab, you pause, and you say nothing. Not because you're weak, but because you're free. Silence isn't surrender. It's sovereignty. It's the decision to rise above the invitation to chaos. Here's the truth most people never learn. Anger is loud, but power is quiet. Because power doesn't flinch. It doesn't chase every insult. It doesn't need the last word. It is the last word. Let's ground this with a scenario. You're in a meeting. Someone cuts you down, not with logic, but with tone. You have the perfect clapback. But instead, you sip your water. You meet their eyes. You say nothing. And in that moment, you own the room. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." Why? Because silence isn't the absence of reaction. It's the presence of mastery. How do you practice this? 1. Learn the pause. When provoked, buy yourself 5 seconds. Breathe like your peace depends on it, because it does. 2. Let the silence speak. Sometimes the most disarming thing you can do is nothing. It shifts the energy. It unsettles the aggressor. It protects your clarity. 3. Speak only when it elevates. Ask yourself, will what I say heal or just satisfy my ego? If it's just ego, keep it. If it's truth, share it calmly. Here's a mantra. I am not obligated to attend every argument I'm invited to. Silence is a boundary. It says, I choose peace over performance, dignity over dominance, presence over pettiness. And if someone mistakes your silence for weakness, let them. The strong don't explain. They protect what matters and walk away with something louder than words, their peace. So next time someone tries to pull you into drama, don't defend, don't escalate, don't flinch, pause, breathe, stay silent. Because that silence, it isn't empty. It's full of strength, grace, and unshakable control. You overslept, spilled your coffee. Someone made a rude comment on the train. Now your whole day feels ruined, and it's not even 9 a.m. The frustration is real. The pressure builds. You want to snap, complain, blame. But what if, instead, you whispered, thank you? Sounds strange, right? How do you thank a day that's falling apart? Here's how. You don't thank the chaos. You thank what's still standing inside it. Gratitude isn't denial. It's direction. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. And when your brain wants to spiral, Gratitude interrupts that loop. Here's the secret. You can't feel anger and gratitude at the same time. Neurologically, they can't coexist. Let's reframe a moment. You're stuck in traffic, late, tense. Instead of letting rage build, you breathe and you think, I have a car. I'm safe. I get to try again tomorrow. Nothing external changed, but internally, you just rewrote the story. Marcus Aurelius once said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into reminders of how far you've come, even on the worst days. Your daily gratitude ritual. 1. The grounding pause. When anger starts bubbling, pause and name 3 things, right now, that you're grateful for. Start small. My breath, this light, the lesson I'm learning. 2. The gratitude journal. Every night, write down 3 things that went right, even if your day was a mess. Over time, your mind rewires itself to look for beauty before it looks for drama. 3. The gratitude reframe. When someone disappoints you, ask, what's the opportunity here? What does this reveal that I can grow from? It's not about sugarcoating pain. It's about not feeding it more power than it deserves. Think of gratitude like emotional jujitsu. It doesn't resist the blow. It redirects it. It absorbs tension and transforms it into perspective. Here's the deep truth. You're not angry because life is hard. You're angry because you've forgotten to notice what's still good. And when you start seeing the beauty that pain tried to cover up, you don't just soften, you awaken. So the next time you feel that edge, that burn, that rising fire inside you, try this. Close your eyes, breathe in, and whisper, thank you for the chance to try again. Because gratitude doesn't fix the world. It just reminds you that you aren't broken. You put your heart into something, a project, a post, a conversation, and someone tears it apart. Not with care, not with grace, just blunt, raw judgment. It stings. You want to defend. You want to prove they're wrong. But here's a shift that changes everything. Criticism is feedback, but only if you know how to filter it. Most people treat criticism like a mirror. If it reflects something ugly, they assume that's who they are. But criticism isn't a mirror. It's a flashlight. Sometimes it shows you a blind spot. Other times, it just shows their projection. Your job? Know the difference. Let's break it down. Someone critiques your idea. You feel defensive, threatened. But pause. What if they're not attacking you? They're handing you insight in clumsy packaging. Not every critique is hate. Some of it is gold, covered in mud. Here's the practice. 1. Pause the emotional response. Before reacting, breathe. Let the sting settle. This prevents you from defending the version of yourself that doesn't need defending. 2. Evaluate the source. Ask, do they know what they're talking about? Do they care about my growth? If yes, listen deeply. If no, thank them mentally and move on. 3. Extract the lesson. Even unfair criticism can carry a message. Ask, is there a kernel of truth I can use to get better? Take what builds you. Drop what breaks you. Criticism, like rain, should be gentle enough to nourish a man's growth without destroying his roots. Frank A. Clark. Here's a real-world example. You share something online. Someone says, this is cringe. You're not even qualified. You could spiral. Or you could say, thanks for the feedback. Then go do something even better with the fuel they gave you. Because here's the truth. No one grows by being flattered. Growth lives in discomfort, and the brave walk straight into it. The Stoics knew this. If someone speaks ill of you, Epictetus said, don't defend. Just think, they don't even know the half of it. That's not sarcasm. That's humility. The point isn't to avoid critique. It's to stop letting it define your worth and start letting it refine your edge. So next time someone critiques you, ask, what can I learn from this? Is this pain, or is this growth in disguise? Because every piece of criticism has two sides, one that stings and one that sharpens. Only one of them will serve you. Choose that one. You replay it over and over. The betrayal, the argument, the thing they did that still burns when you think about it. You keep telling yourself it was unfair, and you're right, it was. But here's the deeper question. How long are you going to carry it? Holding on feels justified, like if you let go, they get away with it. But here's the truth. Holding on doesn't punish them. It punishes you. It keeps you locked in a moment that's already over. You're carrying a story, but you're the only one still reading it. Imagine this. You're holding a burning coal, waiting for the right time to throw it at the person who hurt you. But while you wait, you're the one getting burned. That's what grudges do. They give you a false sense of control while they slowly drain your peace. Letting go isn't weakness, it's release of pain, of pride, of the illusion that replaying it will ever rewrite it. Here's how to start letting go. 1. Acknowledge the feeling. Say it, write it, feel it. Denial binds pain. Naming it begins to free it. 2. Reframe the story. Ask, what did this teach me about myself, my standards, my strength? Growth doesn't come from what happened. It comes from what you do with it. 3. Focus on your next chapter. Letting go isn't about erasing the past. It's about choosing not to drag it into the future. Buddha said it best. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means deciding that this memory doesn't get to rule your mood, your focus, or your future. Here's a mantra. I release what no longer serves me, even if it once felt like everything. It's not easy, but freedom never is. It asks you to choose peace over pride, healing over replaying, now over then. Think of your mind like a garden. Old anger, resentment, bitterness, those are weeds. They crowd out the beauty that wants to grow. Letting go is pulling the weeds so joy has room to breathe. So the next time you catch yourself reliving the pain, ask, is this helping me or haunting me? Do I want to heal or stay right? Because sometimes peace only comes when you stop proving your pain and start proving your strength. Let go, not for them, for you. Because you deserve a life that isn't built around what broke you. You've just learned 10 tools that can change your entire emotional life. Not in theory, not in some distant philosophical way, but in every interaction you face starting today. From the traffic jam to the toxic comment, from the family fight to the quiet moment of self-doubt. You now hold the power to choose peace. This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about training your response, building the muscle of stillness, mastering the art of letting go before anger decides your future for you. Let's recap, not with a list, but with a feeling. You don't flinch when provoked. You don't chase approval. You don't beg to be understood. You don't grip onto what you've outgrown. You respond slowly. You walk away quickly. And you protect your peace like it's sacred. Because it is. This is emotional freedom. Not perfect calm, but power in motion. The kind of strength no one can see, but everyone feels. So what now? You practice. You show up again tomorrow. You breathe when it burns. You pause when it stings, and little by little you become the person no one can shake. Not cold, not distant, just unbothered. Because your peace is no longer up for grabs. This is your space, where clarity meets transformation. Subscribe and return each week to sharpen the mind and strengthen the soul.